Mistakes when starting a business to avoid for beginners. Number one, don't use all your capital to start your business. What do I mean? The money that you set aside for your business, to start your business, don't use it all up. Why? Because when you're starting a business, that business will need time before you can break even and for it to start bringing in profit. So to cater for the expenses between starting and when that business is able to take care of its expenses, start bringing in money, you will still need money to pay for all those expenses. So you'll still require that part of your capital. Another reason is because you might have stocked products that are not moving. So you'll be required to stock what now the customers are asking for. So when you have set aside some part of the capital, is going to help you to keep the business stable. Number two, you think of a product to sell, and what you're thinking is your first customers to be your friends and family. When you're starting a business, avoid this way of looking for your customers or developing your product, because the success of that business is minimal. So you think of exact person to sell, people who you don't know. So when you're developing your product or your service or thinking who to sell, you need to think broadly of exactly who you're going to be selling to. But don't think in terms of selling to your family or to your friends. Another mistake to avoid is not thinking long term. Many business people, when you're starting a business, they don't think about long-term plans. Long-term plan in terms of maybe what that business is going to grow into. So you project in the next 5 years how that business is going to be. But you start small. But the vision should be a big vision. You need to have a big vision for that business. That way you'll be able to identify if there's growth in that business that you are setting up. Number 4 is when you expect that business to grow very quickly. The expectation of growing that business quickly, and then when it does not do that, you find small business owners who are starting up too, they tend to give up. So what is required when you're starting a business is to give that business enough time to grow. That means you need to be consistent and patient for that business to grow. You give it time, maybe a few months, and you see how that curve is growing, because a business has a curve. So when it's starting, you need time to acquire the customers, you get your product known. So you need to be patient to grow that business. Another mistake that business entrepreneurs who are starting business tend to do is holding on to a bad business. What do I mean? A bad business in terms of that business, you are not getting clients at all, even after being patient and long. maybe you have wasted maybe a whole 1 year and there's no growth in that business is not breaking even, and you're not able to acquire any customers, that's when you know it is time to let go. Number 6, lack of skills. Now, a mistake that people do when they are starting a business is you set up a business that you really have no skills to do that business. If you don't have skills and you want to set up a certain kind of business, what you do is you learn skills that are needed. Could be hard or soft skills to run that business. So you need to learn, and also learn how to do sales. If you don't have sales skills, that is going to be hard for you to operate any kind of business. So one of a requirement when you're starting a business is learn how to do sales. Sales is a very important skill set in running a business. Another mistake is they don't brand themselves. Branding. What do I mean? Is you don't have an identity to your business. You don't think of how to name your business. You've not named your business. It's going to be hard to identify you from the rest of the businesses. So how you name it, how you color it, the product type, the materials, all that is part of branding. How that product is going to be packaged, how is part of the branding to identify you and set you aside from the other sellers for people to buy your product and know the value that you are bringing. Another mistake is not understanding the customer needs. Now, the problem is when you're starting, you start with the idea of what you think the customers want. But in reality, when you go to start a business, that's when you actually learn and know exactly what your customer needs. So you are going now to adjust. You'll be needed to adjust, do some adjustment to cater to your exact customer need. Maybe now they need a different size from what you're selling. Maybe they need a different color from what you're selling. So you need to adjust until that product, you tailor it to exactly what your customer needs. The other mistake is when they are starting a business, you find small business owners, they want to follow trends. As much as you want to sell what is in the in thing in terms of a certain industry, is good not only to have a good foundation, not just looking at the trends, because we said you're supposed to plan long term. You have to have a long term, because some of these trends, they don't last. So you need to put up your business in a mindset in terms of long term and not just what is trending right now. The last one is lack of creativity. One mistake is they tend to copy exactly what the other sellers are selling. As much as right now there's not so much innovation in the market, but when you find a niche in the market that you want to sell, it's good to add value. Maybe you change the sizes, you can change the colors, you can add something on top of what is already there in the market. Because when you copy and paste and not do anything to add value, that business is going to have a problem in the future.